What cheer, y'all? Well, in keeping with our daily stakes play at Saratoga and it being Whitney weekend, let's talk about the Whitney. It's a perennial favorite, one of the best races at Saratoga year after year. It's a grade one, 11th race on the card, running a mile and an eighth for 4 year olds and up. Could you ask for a better field? I mean, this is just outstanding. You've got the Breeders' Cup Classic winner in Sierra Leone, Fierceness, the Travers winner from last year, White Abario, former Breeders' Cup Classic winner, Mindframe, and I mean, it's a stellar field. Highland, I mean, even the supporting players, Post Time, Highland Falls, Skippy Longstocking. This is a really nice field. It's got your pretty much traditional race shape, I think. Mama's Gold it is a pretty easy toss, but it will be one that they can point to and will be likely the pace setter, but and be followed closely by our pace pressers. Now, the big question in this race is Mindframe even going to run? Because uh, are you going to put is Todd Pletcher going to put Fierceness and Mindframe in the same race? I'm not so sure, especially when you see Jose Gomez as the listed jockey for Mindframe. No offense against Jose, but usually gets a little better caliber of jockey, even if he runs. And let's say he does. I'm not really. I haven't been impressed with Mindframe this year, to be quite honest. From what we saw at 3, you saw some greenness, some immaturity, probably a couple races that could have won the Belmont, could have won the Travers, and wasn't able to get the job done due to greenness, I think, more than anything. So you had to figure that maybe over the winter, with Todd Pletcher working his mastery, this horse would get it all together. Now, he's done fine this year. He's won all 3 races, without a doubt. But he looks like he's doing just enough to win. That's what kind of bothers me. I thought this horse would be a little more of the fierceness variety where, just put a stamp on it when he wins the race emphatically to tell you, yeah, I'm the best horse. So I look at that and and stepping up in class, can he handle this type of race? Sure, he can. But I'm just not sure he's got that extra little push in him that puts him over the top here. And so at 5-2, I don't like the price at all for that reason. And if he does decide to run, I'm probably going to look elsewhere. It's going to be pretty chalky on top, so I don't think you want to use all of them. So you got to find ways to get some prices in there, and I think I have. So he would be one I'd let go. We all know the deal with Skippy Longstocking in Grade Ones. He's not a Grade One horse. He's an excellent older horse. We need more of them. He's a Grade Two, Grade Three caliber horse. The Charlestown Classic, he'll probably run in that again. And I think that'll be his 3rd or 4th win in a row. And so he may not be in this race, but if he is, I think he's part of the pace picture. And I wouldn't even be surprised if he is in this race if they send him as sort of a way to maybe set things up for White Abario a little bit. I don't know, but I don't think he's good enough to win this race, and I would just toss him. But he could always find his way into the bottom of the trifecta or the super. I wouldn't put it past him. But winning this race, no. Highland Falls, this is a horse that hell, he beat Arthur's Ride, and you had to think that maybe some better things were coming. Really haven't. He's just kind of been in a holding pattern, and what he's holding isn't good enough to beat the very best here, and so for that reason, I'm going to let him go. Now, if I had to choose, basically, I came down to a choice between White Abario and Mindframe when I was looking through this field as to which one of those I was going to keep. I didn't want to use both. I settled on White Abario for a couple of reasons. Number one, the price is better at 4-1. But number two, this horse he's won the Whitney. He's following the same pattern he did when he won the Whitney a couple of years ago. This is the Met Mile first, and then the Whitney. He clearly doesn't like it when it's wet. So if it does rain, we'll probably not include him. But he may have a little something off the fastball. He seems to the last couple of races He's not quite at his very best. But, this is a champion, and you're stepping him up into Grade 1 company, and he may be able to raise his game and get in the mix. I wouldn't put it past him at all. He's fresh, and he runs very well, as we know, off the bench. So I'm going to throw White Abario in there, who could very well upset the apple cart. You never know. But I think he's a logical use. Contrary thinking was a pretty easy toss. Really have no idea why he's even in this race except to fill out the field. Fierceness, what can you say? I mean, he's got everything that he wants. He's got a distance that he loves. He's at an outside post, so he's unencumbered. Out of the break, he should be able to break clean, get right to where he wants to. Johnny Veal put him there, and then it's a question of whether he's good enough, and he's plenty good enough. He can absolutely win this race. There's no doubt about it whatsoever. And there's no complaints whatsoever. And if you want to put him on top, I don't blame anybody. I think he's an outstanding horse, and he's come quite a long way from those question marks we had at 2 and 3 for sure. Now, Disarm might raise an eyebrow, and let me just say this about Disarm. He's run well at Saratoga before, but really the reason for putting him in the mix here is not as a win candidate, not as a thought of upsetting this field, but Steve Asmussen's barn is on fire right now. He's winning at 43%. I mean, you can't overlook that. This horse has been off for quite some time. He's had quite a good string of works. He's going to probably rate unencumbered, out of trouble, off of the pace, probably about mid pack. And I mean, if he gets the trip, and when you get a field this big, and when you get it this good, a lot of that has to do with getting the trip. I think he can get himself into the mix because they can't expect all of the best horses to have a good day and all be right up there. So look for one's got some back class, has run with some of these, and has been, if not better than or as good, he's been competitive, close to it. And so we'll throw Disarm in the mix at 15-1. Now, Sierra Leone is my pick to win this race. And, if you look at it initially, the thought would be maybe he doesn't have enough pace because Mama's Gold's not going to run suicidal fractions, I don't think. And even if it's Skippy Longstock or whoever's on the lead. Because if they do, they can't win. So the pace should be honest. Now, can Sierra Leone, running the way he has in the past, win with honest fractions? He can. But would he be more likely for under? Yes, except for one thing. And you got to go a little deeper on this one. But watch his Breeders' Cup Classic last year. Now, we all know he had suicidal pace fractions to run to. It was ideal setup. Absolutely true. But remember one thing when you go back and watch that race. He moved early. Sierra Leone got engaged in that race much sooner than he normally does. And that to me is always something you want to see in a closer as they get older, because it says that they're starting to figure it out and they're getting better. And Sierra Leone to get better is saying something, right? So that was the Breeders' Cup Classic. But now move forward to this year. Now the New Orleans handicap at Fairgrounds, he wasn't going to win that race. There was no pace in it at all. And he was coming off a long layoff. And Chad Brown's generally don't run well off the bench. And he needed a race. And he ran like it. He finished the third. That a horse who, as good as him, who needs a race, does. Now, the Stephen Foster, I remember in my post of that race noting to people that, hey, that's not the race that they pointed him to. He's being pointed to the Whitney. Chad Brown's from Saratoga. He wants to win the Whitney. And so I knew Sierra Leone wasn't going to be at his best in that race either. He was going to be better than he was in New Orleans, and he was. But note one thing about that race is the way Sierra Leone ran in it. He got engaged earlier than he had before. That's what I'm looking at. Now, if he incorporates that into his running style regularly, he's a lot more dangerous. And that's why I'm going to pick him, because if he does that and he gets going early, he's going to blow this field wide open. He'll be flying at the top of the stretch, and everybody else will be just getting into gear. It's one of my favorite things to see a horse do. It looks like that's what they were trying to. The Stephen Foster was a primer to kind of showcase that and practice it a little bit, if you will. But we already saw him do it effectively in the Breeders' Cup Classic, so it shouldn't be a surprise. So if he can get more forwardly placed earlier or get engaged in the race earlier, I think he's going to be awful hard to beat, and that's why I'm picking him. Post time is a very logical. He's 18 for 18 in the money. You have to put him into your exotics. He's not going to win this race. He's not good enough. And mile and an eighth probably isn't his ideal distance, but he certainly can run at it. He's just a horse you have to love. He brings it every single time, regardless of the class level. And he's a very strong candidate to get into your exotics, into your trifecta more than likely. And with an outside shot at getting into the exacta at 12 to 1, he's a terrific price. So we'll take a look at our wagering strategy. Going to go with Sierra Leone to win. Hopefully it won't be too short. If it is, we may just throw some kind of a value bet in on maybe White Abario or even Disarm. But Sierra Leone's who we want to bet on. And hopefully, if we can get 2 to 1, I consider that to be fair. We're going to do exactas. Our exactas are going to be 5, 9, and 9, 5. I think Fierceness is clearly the second choice. And then we'll do a key box as sort of a saver with 5 on top with 7 and 9. So if we do get our 5, 9 exacta, we double up. Trifecta, keep it real simple. 5, 9, 5, 9 with 6, 7, and 10. And then 5, 9 with 6, 7, and 10, and 5, 9. Regardless of who wins this race, it should be a great one. I'm going to be there. I'm really looking forward to it. And as I always say, if you do see me there, I'm kind of hard to miss. Please stop by, say hello. If you want a cocktail, we'll share one, or a cigar, whatever. Love to see you. Love to see people from the community. So hope our analysis helps you with your own wagering strategy. Wish you the best of luck as always. And certainly if you do like content like this, please like and subscribe. And thanks to all of you who continue to grow our community. Saratoga, we will have the Late Pick 5 sequence available on the YouTube channel. We will have our full card selections for Whitney Day on our website, as well as best bets, value plays, and our daily long shot. So if you're so inclined, you'll have some extras. We may even throw some added sequences in there since it's a big day. And we do have 4 Grade 1 stakes races, so there may be some alternative sequences as well, just as sort of an extra for you guys. So plenty of coverage coming along the way. We're going to try to do some Del Mar if we can, time permitting. It's going to be a tall order this week, but we'll try. Don't want to forget about where the turf meets the surf, so we'll hopefully get something out for that as well. So that's it from here. I'll talk to you soon, and until then, be well.